Good afternoon, viewers, and welcome to Face to Face. Today we're talking about psychoeducation. When you first hear the word psychology, you might think about Sigmund Freud or the ego or how to do a therapy. But today we're going to talk about it in depth with our guest, Abhiani Prastika. So please welcome our guest. Hello, Abhi.
Hello, Barry.
How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
So please tell us about yourself to the audience.
So, first of all, you can just call me Abhi. I'm a psychology student in Bina Nusantara University, currently doing the undergraduate program. I'm in my 6th semester, and I'm also an activist in ISEC.
Okay, so that's interesting. But can you tell us why psychology exactly? Do you have special interest in psychology that you choose psychology?
Yeah, it's actually quite personal because my sister, she's autistic, and that's the main reason why I choose psychology, because I see that not many people understand what psychology is all about. So when they face something that's related to psychology, that they're not really ready, you know, to actually face it. So I think, why don't I be the one who introduce psychology to people around me?
Okay, so our topic today is about psychoeducation. Probably we want to tell the viewers what exactly is psychoeducation. Is it the psychology itself, or is it a special treatment for them, or what is it?
No, psychoeducation is the socialization of psychology itself. The science of psychology does not only include diseases or illness in psychology, but when you talk about psychology, there are so many theories, there are so many treatments that you can use for psychological disorders or many things. So, sorry. So psychology, psychoeducation, I mean, is the socialization of psychology that you can use to people, how you tell people what psychology is all about, and some specific stuff about it.
Okay, you said that your sister has this autistic. For you as a psychology student, and you also know about psychoeducation, how can you deal with that? What can you do? What's the best you can do by knowing what psychoeducation is?
Okay, so many people I see today still see autistic people, I mean autism, as something that's different from them. They discriminate people with mental illness or something. So I hope with psychoeducation, people can see autism as a different thing. They don't discriminate it. So, well, they're the same with us, so why should we discriminate them, you know?
Okay, what exactly do you do in this psychoeducation that you said can help them? Do you listen to them, or do you give them suggestions? We want to know more about that.
You educate people.
You educate people
about what psychology is all about. So you tell them about the theories, the understanding of psychology, what is it inside psychology that we study, that we implement, that we do, and things like that.
Okay, so psychoeducation is for people who are not taking the psychology major. I mean, like, it's for the ordinary people, like for the common people to know just about psychology, that they can apply it. Is it true?
It's not always like that. Sometimes even me, I still need psychoeducation because actually psychoeducation's topic is very broad that you cannot just sum it into an hour or so. So psychoeducation covers so many topics, but in every topic, you can just tell them what is it about. For example, like autism. What autism is about actually. What do people what do autistic people do? What do they think about? What are their what's going on in their mind? You know, so people won't misinterpret what psychology is.
Okay, so from your current view, how government perceive this situation that a lot of people still think that mental illness as a joke, especially let's say autism. Like some people will say that, oh, you're such an autistic person. but they don't really know what autistic is.
Yeah.
Like, how do you see government action in here, like from your point of view?
From my point of view, I think the government intervened this thing seriously. I mean, they're not just joking about it. They actually do some socialization about psychology, and well, I see the awareness is rising from the citizens, and I think that's good.
Okay. How about the ongoing study? Are you currently studying something related to psychoeducation, or for example, the violation or
No.
the physical violation like that?
No, actually, in psychology, we just do that. We just socialize what psychology is about. I mean, interacting like this. I mean, talking to people, whether it's just whether it is informal or formal. Well, we're actually delivering psychoeducation every time we talk about psychology. I mean, when you are not explaining the wrong side of psychology to someone, the good side, I mean, the right side of psychology, every time you do it, you're doing psychoeducation.
Okay. Have you ever experienced such a moving moment where you give your friends some psychoeducation and like it opens their mind? Have you experienced such thing?
Of course, of
like
course.
how is it? Tell us.
Like he said, for example, whenever someone says, "Oh my God, you're so autistic. You play your phone all the time," it makes me sad. You know, not only because of my sister, but because, well, so many people are so not aware of what psychology is all about. So every time people say that, I always say, no, it's not good to joke about them. They're not jokes, they're actual human beings. So, well, it's actual example of delivering psychoeducation.
Okay. How about the urgency? Do you see any urgency about psychoeducation? Like, is there any specific topics that needs to be talked about to society regarding psychoeducation? Do you think there's any topic, like, for example, like physical violation or rules violation?
Of course, there are many.
What is it for you, the urgency?
The urgency for me is not about the individuals that's living in here. Individuals, I've studied psychology and I understand that individuals are made out by their environment. There are nurture process in them shaping their behavior. I see that there are so many people, even the mass media, misinterpret psychology. They make us think as if it is something that's not important. For example, the way you see kids nowadays, they interact, they make relationships with people.
What kind of relationship do you mean?
Romantic relationships,
Okay.
yeah. They're in elementary and they do that. How is that not? How is that not supposed to make you think as if the world is not going to a good side of psychology?
Well, I thought that love is okay. Well, like, okay, they're a child, but like, love is human nature process. So I thought it's fine. But how is it in psychology? Like, what's wrong with that?
It is fine, but then the way you see it, I mean, us as teenagers or maybe adults, they even sometimes fail to build a romantic relationship with someone. What about those kids?
Okay.
You see, and you see the urgency in here, right? So there are so many misconceptions about so many things, so many aspects in psychology. It's so broad. I cannot, I don't think I can mention it one by one.
Okay, so like, I'm interested in this topic about the romantic thing about kids. Like, how do you see it affects them, like, in the daily life? Okay, let's say that when they're hanging out with the girlfriend, and then that's how they act. But how can it affect their daily life, like in school, their performance probably? Do you see any effect on that? That it makes an urgency?
Well, not only in those kids, but do you see that there are so many phenomenon about this? When you fail, to build a romantic relationship, a good romantic relationship with someone, you tend to withdraw yourself.
Okay.
There are so many consequences when you fail to build a good romantic relationship with someone. So there are so many urgencies in here going on.
Okay, so yeah, that's really interesting, and we don't want to spoil everything to the viewers. So stay tuned on Face to Face, and we'll be back with more talks about psychoeducation. Hello viewers, and welcome back to Face to Face. We're still here with Abi, so let's talk more about psychoeducation. So Abi, welcome back.
Hello.
Hello. So we talk about the romance in the kids and how they cannot realize the consequences in that, so that affects their daily life. How do you think is the best way to educate them in terms of psychoeducation? Is it their parents or teachers?
There are some external people who can help you to prevent these things to happen. This thing refers to dating violence. I will explain to you about it later. So there are, of course, parents, teachers, and peers, and to broaden it, there's mass media. So parents, in a way that they can educate their child, is to socialize them what dating is all about, and to provide a good example of what romantic relationship is. Teachers, on other side, they can teach them in a formal way. So, for example, you socialize to them what romantic relationship is, what is the good way to do it, and stuff. And friends, well, it's better for you to like support your friends, whatever it is going on with them, right? So when your friend is in trouble because of romantic relationship, you can intervene in that by saying what is the actual appropriate way that you can do, you know.
How about with the kids? Because we're talking about the kids. You know how they still think, how can they support their friend because they don't really know about it? What do you think so?
Well, not supporting as in you say to them what's the appropriate way to deal with it. But when you don't know nothing about it, then you can just direct them to someone who knows something about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so you say you want to talk about the dating things?
Dating violence?
How is it? Like
dating violence is a very common phenomenon that we see every day. So, for example, whenever you're sent friends, oh my God, I cannot go to the party because my boyfriend is limiting me.
Okay.
Or, oh my God, I cannot meet you today because I have to deal with my boyfriend and stuff. It's actually dating violence. So, dating violence comes in many forms. There are mainly 4, but I will only discuss 3 in here.
That's fine, you can discuss 4, you got plenty of time.
Okay. So dating violence, the first form of dating violence is physical. You know what physical
Yes, I think
violence
it's a more
is.
common one than people. When people hear about dating violence, they will think about physical one.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I
about
think,
that.
yeah.
They don't think about the 3 others. Okay,
So physical dating violence is when you inflict pain to someone physically and you mean to hurt them. So when you slap your boyfriend or when you slap your girlfriend, it's actually dating violence. The second one takes form in financial kind of dating violence. You know, and baby, I want to buy that. You have to buy me that, or I will break up with you. You know.
I see.
Yeah.
It's considered of dating violence.
Yes,
as well.
that is dating violence.
Okay. That's cool.
That's quite interesting, right?
That's interesting.
The third form is the sexual violence. You know, when, babe, if you don't want to have sex with me, then we'll have to break up.
Okay.
So sexual dating violence comes when another party wants to do sexual things, such as kissing or touching or, I don't know, raping and things like that. And the party who wants to do that will say that if you do not do it with me, then there will come consequences.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a threat.
Yeah, it's a threat.
Okay.
And the last one is emotional or psychological dating violence. This is the most common kind of dating violence that we meet every day, and it is the one that people are not most aware of basing on my observation and my interview with people. Because there were 7,346 cases of dating violence back in 2005, and it only covers the surface of it. There were probably millions of these kind of things, but people are not aware that they are the one who do that or the one who is the victim of that. So, so this last one is the very crucial and the most deadly one. Is it covers it comes in many forms, but some of the forms are like when you are being overprotective, when you're being so jealous that you limit the access of your girlfriend or boyfriend to their friends, to their family, and when you are being so how do you say it? You limit the way they their
You make
moods.
a boundary.
Yeah, you make
Okay.
you make the boundaries for them.
Okay.
You limit them from doing activities that they like, just so they can be with you. You know those kind of things when your friend says, "Mom, I cannot go with you today because I have to accompany my girlfriend."
Oh,
Yeah.
things like that. As
Things
well.
like that. It's as simple as that, but it is very, very deadly because the consequences that you feel is not physical, it's not financial as well.
It's emotional.
It's emotional, and the way you express it from the pattern that I see, you tell these stories to people that are not aware of the consequences of of these things. So you tell these stories to people who are not experts, so that they also tell you advices. They are not from experts as well, so that you end up in the same circle over and over again.
So what kind of advice do you mean, like from experts? Like, okay, here comes our mom, and they don't know things about that, but they can still give the advice. So what kind of advice do you suggest?
I learned that in counseling psychology, there are so many advices, so many forms of advices, and it comes back to you. Which one do you wanna use? So, but the best thing, the best way to understand a relationship is to actually comprehend that when you are doing a relationship, it's mutual, right? It involves two people. So, like the main intention, why are you in that relationship? If you are serious in that relationship, is for you, both of you to move up to a higher level of relationship, not
Higher
only
role.
just dating, right?
A higher role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but sometimes you forgot that the best way to do it is for you to enhance your communication skill and for you to compromise what do you want from each and both sides. Because when you do not say, when you do not communicate well of what you want to do,
Does it cause a violation?
Or
Does it triggers the violation?
that triggers a
It triggers
violation
a
as well.
violation.
Because, for example, it's just today that I met my friend. She had an appointment with her boyfriend at 1 p.m. But then her boyfriend said that I bought you a ticket for a movie, and then you came late. So you see in here, if you just communicate to her that you bought the ticket for both of you to watch the movie, it avoids conflicts.
So from what I learned is that's the way of how people perceive it, isn't it? Like the communication, probably because it is through text. Like sometimes people perceive it as he probably talking madly to me, like that. Is it?
Yeah, sometimes it also takes in that form. The best the best way to communicate is for you to deliver your message, and then you compromise in romantic relationship, in any kind of relationship. And what I see, the most common phenomenon is that when that person doesn't get your message, you tend to be mad about it.
Okay.
And then your voice gets higher, your tone, your pitch gets higher, and then the other party gets offended.
And
then
there
both
comes a big fight.
Yeah, and then you fight. And then after you fight, you just let it go like that. You don't talk about it, because when you talk
No
about
resolution, yeah.
there are no solution. Yeah. So I think the best way to deal with this phenomenon, I mean, with dating violence, is for you to enhance your communication skill, because when you communicate with someone, in a good way, right? So that person gets your point. It will avoid conflict, and it will press down the number, that huge number of dating violence.
Well, I see that a lot of people in a relationship talk about communication is good, communication is good. But from your point of view, how is a good communication itself?
From my point of view, a good communication is that when you can adapt to which kind of person are you dealing with, which kind of party are you dealing with. For example, when I'm dealing with my consumer or my customer, I will talk to them as if they are customer. But when I talk to my partner, I will talk to him as if he is my partner.
Okay.
And when I talk with people in different forms, you have to be adaptable to it. How do you learn it? By gaining experiences.